All right, let's picture this. Your application is a global hit. It's absolutely killing it, running smoothly across AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. But behind the scenes, your security is, well, it's a mess. It's a patchwork of mismatched rules, a ticking time bomb of what we call configuration drift. Today, we're going to defuse that bomb. So, what's our game plan? First up, we're going to really dig into the problem, the multi-cloud WAF dilemma. Then we'll introduce the solution, our hero for today, GitOps. After that, we get practical. We'll talk about building a universal rule set and, this is a big one, mastering rate limiting. And finally, we'll look at the payoff, what it all looks like when you achieve truly synchronized security. So let's get right into it. The multi-cloud WAF dilemma, or as I call it, the chaos of inconsistent security. You've done all this incredible work, right? You've built this amazing, resilient, multi-cloud architecture, but now you're dealing with a security hangover. Every new feature, every single update means you're navigating this maze of totally different web application firewalls. It's exhausting, it's a recipe for burnout, and worse, it's just asking for a security breach. This is the big question, the one that keeps so many senior engineers and CISOs up at night. You have 3 different clouds, 3 different WAFs. So how on earth do you maintain one single security policy? And look, I'm not talking about a policy written down in a document somewhere. I mean a policy that is actually enforced identically everywhere, all the time. Anything less than that is basically just security theater. And this is what that chaos actually looks like. It really is a tale of 3 WAFs. I mean, just look at this. It's a complete Tower of Babel for security. AWS calls things rule groups and wants you to write in JSON. Azure has policy rules and uses ARM templates. And GCP, they have security policies and their own flavor of YAML or G-Cloud commands. This isn't just an annoying translation problem. It's a security nightmare waiting to happen. This is exactly where a small human error creeps in and becomes the crack that an attacker can slip right through. Okay, so how do we fix this mess? How do we bring order to all this chaos? Well, the answer isn't another tool or more complexity. It's a simple, really powerful idea called GitOps. We're going to stop trying to juggle 3 different systems and instead create one single source of truth that rules them all. Now, if you're new to the term, don't worry, it's a really straightforward concept. Think of it this way. We're going to start treating our infrastructure just like we treat our application code. Every change to a security policy gets checked into Git, it gets reviewed by peers, and then it's automatically tested and deployed through a CI/CD pipeline. It brings all the rigor and discipline of software development into the world of operations and infrastructure. This is such a great way to think about it. GitOps really does act like a universal translator. Your Git repository becomes the one common language that everyone on the team can understand. And the GitOps process itself is the engine that takes your clear, simple policy and translates it perfectly into the native dialect of AWS, Azure, and GCP. No more misunderstandings, no more security getting lost in translation. And here's that magic in action. It's a pretty simple 3-step process. First, you define everything as code in a central Git repository. This becomes your single, undeniable source of truth. Then you validate. Every single time a change is committed, a CI pipeline automatically kicks off to check the syntax and the logic. And finally, you deploy. A CD pipeline takes over, translates that policy, and deploys it out to all 3 clouds. It's fast, it's reliable, and it's pretty much foolproof. Okay, so we have our how, that's GitOps. Now let's get into the what. What kind of rules are we actually managing this way? It's time to dive into the nitty-gritty of building a truly universal rule set. We really have 2 types of rules to get under control. For the standard stuff, the OWASP core rules, we are not going to reinvent the wheel. We'll use the managed rule sets that the cloud providers already give us. The key, though, is that we will control which of those rules are enabled or disabled from our central Git repo. For our own stuff, our custom business logic, we'll define those rules just once in a simple universal format, like YAML, and then we'll let our deployment scripts handle the automated translation for each WAF. Now let's talk about the big one. Rate limiting. This is an area where even the slightest inconsistency can have absolutely catastrophic consequences. If you get this wrong, you are leaving the front door wide open for some very determined attackers. Seriously, just think like an attacker for a second. They are always probing for your weakest link. If they find out that the rate limit is just a tiny bit higher on one of your cloud providers, guess where they're going to focus their entire attack? For them, that inconsistency isn't a bug. It's a feature they can and will exploit. And this is why this has to be our goal. One universal policy, one standard, one single level of protection everywhere, no exceptions, period. And how do we get to that one? We use the same GitOps pattern. You define all your thresholds in a central configuration file in Git. You can use variables for any little environment-specific details, like IP sets. The most important thing is to make sure the logic for counting the requests is functionally identical across all clouds. And then, of course, you automate the translation of that central policy into each WAF's specific syntax. The result? Rock-solid, consistent protection. So we've walked through the problem, the solution, and the nitty-gritty details. Now let's talk about the best part, the payoff. This is the transformation from that chaotic, manual world of multi-cloud management to a state of automated, verifiable confidence in your security. The benefits here are huge. Those manual configuration errors that cause outages? Gone. The question of who changed what and when, it's all right there in the Git history, fully auditable. That weak link in your security posture? It's eliminated. And when a zero-day exploit hits, you're not scrambling. You can update and deploy a new rule everywhere, globally, in just minutes. That's not just an operational improvement, that is a massive strategic advantage. So we'll end on this. Implementing GitOps for your WAF is a powerful technical shift, for sure, but it's also a cultural one. It means your security teams and your development teams have to start speaking the same language, the language of code, of pull requests, of automated pipelines. The technology is here. The real question is, are you ready to build the culture to support it?